There was a time when lunch wasn't just a quick bite between meetings. It was the heart of the day, something workers, families, and school kids looked forward to with hunger and comfort. Yet, over the years, many classic midday meals have slipped away, replaced by fast food, takeout, and grab-and-go snacks. These vanished lunches tell us a story about how people lived, what they valued, and how times have changed. Today we're looking back at 20 famous lunches that have faded into history, dishes that once defined the noon hour but now live mostly in memory. Spam sandwiches. During World War II and the 1950s, spam sandwiches filled countless lunchboxes. Cheap, filling, and long-lasting, they were a go-to when fresh meat was scarce. Workers, kids, and housewives all relied on its convenience. But as fresher, healthier options became available, spam slipped into nostalgia. Today, it's remembered more for wartime survival than everyday eating. If spam fueled workers, the next quick fix proved you didn't need meat at all. Peanut butter and banana sandwich. Thanks to Elvis Presley, the peanut butter and banana sandwich had a golden era. Cheap, sweet, and filling, it was a favorite of kids and adults alike. But today, it's more novelty than mainstream lunch. And speaking of sandwiches, another simple favorite once filled countless lunch pails, though now it's almost forgotten: egg salad sandwich. Egg salad was once a popular homemade lunch, especially during the 1950s and 60s. It was cheap, easy to make, and could be spread onto any bread. But as people grew wary of mayo-heavy foods and strong smells in the office lunchroom, egg salad slowly disappeared. Tuna salad sandwich. By the 1960s, no diner or lunch counter menu was complete without a tuna salad sandwich. Served on toasted rye or plain white bread with celery crunch and mayo richness, it was both light and filling. Office workers loved it, and it was considered a ladies' lunch in tea rooms as well. But mercury scares, changing dietary preferences, and the decline of classic diners slowly pushed it into the background. Today, you'll still find it occasionally, but it's no longer the icon it once was. While tuna sandwiches were the choice for city workers, factory hands often relied on something even heartier: leftovers packed from home. Meatloaf sandwiches. Yesterday's dinner often became today's lunch. Thick slices of leftover meatloaf tucked between bread with ketchup or mustard were once a favorite for workers. But with fewer people cooking meatloaf at home, this hearty sandwich has nearly vanished. If meatloaf was the working man's lunch, another dish offered a taste of luxury, even if it came from a can. Deviled ham sandwich. Canned deviled ham spread, often sold by Underwood, was once a lunchtime standard. With its tangy, spiced flavor, it could turn plain bread into a savory treat. It was cheap, didn't spoil easily, and fit perfectly in a lunch pail. But by the 1980s, tastes had shifted away from canned meats, and fresher deli options became the norm. Today, deviled ham is still sold, but it's mostly forgotten by younger generations who never saw it in their school or work lunches. But if canned ham vanished, another hot handheld favorite once filled that same role in school cafeterias and corner diners: Sloppy Joes. The classic Sloppy Joe, a loose ground beef sandwich mixed with tangy tomato sauce, was a messy but beloved lunch for decades. Popularized in the mid-20th century, it appeared in school cafeterias and family kitchens everywhere. It was cheap, easy to make in bulk, and comforting for kids and adults alike. But in recent decades, it has largely disappeared, replaced by cleaner, trendier meals and fast food. Today, it's a nostalgic memory, more likely to appear at themed retro dinners than at an actual lunch table. From saucy sandwiches to fried indulgence, the next item was once the pride of diners across America. Fried bologna sandwich. Thick slices of bologna fried until sizzling and slapped into a sandwich with cheese or mustard were a lunchtime favorite in the mid-20th century. It was quick, affordable, and felt like comfort food. But as processed meats fell out of favor and health trends moved in, the fried bologna sandwich began to disappear. Today, it's considered more of a regional specialty than an everyday lunch. And while fried bologna still survives in some southern kitchens, another working-class lunch that fed thousands has nearly vanished completely. Liverwurst sandwich. Strong-flavored liverwurst spread or sliced into sandwiches was once a lunch favorite in many immigrant families. It was cheap and packed with iron, but modern tastes turned away from organ meats, and liverwurst faded out of popularity. But if liverwurst fell out of fashion, the top 10 lunches on our list reveal even more fascinating stories of meals that once defined an era and then slipped away. Chicken a la king. In the 1950s and 60s, no lunch menu was complete without chicken a la king. A creamy mix of chicken, mushrooms, and peppers served over toast or puff pastry, it was once the height of sophistication. Hotels, cafeterias, and home kitchens all served it proudly. But as lighter meals and frozen foods took over, chicken a la king lost its crown. Today, it's remembered only as a relic of dinner parties and luncheons long past. Hot turkey sandwich with gravy. Once a diner favorite, the hot turkey sandwich was more than just Thanksgiving leftovers. Slices of turkey on bread, smothered in gravy and paired with mashed potatoes, made for a hearty midday meal. But as fast food replaced sit-down lunches, this classic disappeared. Now, it survives mostly in old-school diners and holiday kitchens. If turkey faded away, the next dish shows what once filled school lunch trays: macaroni and cheese loaf. It sounds odd today, but macaroni and cheese loaf, a meatloaf-style block with pasta baked inside, was once a cafeteria staple. Served cold in slices, it was filling, cheap, and practical. But its heavy texture and strange look doomed it. By the late 20th century, it had nearly vanished, remembered only as a quirky school lunch relic. And as macaroni loaves disappeared, another casserole made the leap from dinner to lunch: shepherd's pie leftovers. In the 1940s and 50s, shepherd's pie didn't stop at dinner. Packed with potatoes, beef, and vegetables, it reheated well, making it a common lunch for kids and workers. But as quick, lighter meals became popular, shepherd's pie stopped showing up in lunchboxes. Today, it's still a dinner favorite, but rarely thought of as lunch. And if shepherd's pie warmed families, the next dish fueled workers for decades. Corned beef sandwich. The corned beef sandwich once ruled deli counters and lunchrooms. Piled high on rye with mustard, it was salty, filling, and especially beloved in cities like New York and Chicago. But rising prices, health concerns, and the decline of traditional delis pushed it aside. Today, it's a treat rather than an everyday lunch. If corned beef was the deli king, the next dish was the everyman staple for years: cold roast beef sandwich. Leftover roast beef sliced thin for sandwiches was once a lunchbox classic. It was simple, reliable, and full of protein. Families stretched Sunday roasts into weekday meals, and workers looked forward to a hearty bite at noon. But as processed deli meats became more convenient and families cooked fewer large roasts, the cold roast beef sandwich began to vanish. Today, it's more of a specialty sandwich than an everyday lunch. Yet while roast beef faded from lunchboxes, another comfort food reigned supreme for kids across America: grilled cheese with tomato soup. The grilled cheese and tomato soup combo was once the quintessential American school lunch. Cheap, simple, and beloved by children, it was a staple in cafeterias and homes. Melted cheese on buttered bread paired perfectly with a hot cup of tomato soup, offering warmth and comfort. But as processed soups and white bread fell out of fashion, this duo became more of a nostalgic treat than an everyday lunch. Today, it's still popular, but it no longer dominates school menus the way it once did. And if grilled cheese warmed hearts, another cold lunch once fueled millions of kids and workers: bologna sandwich. Few lunches were as common in the 20th century as the bologna sandwich. Cheap, filling, and easy to make, it was the backbone of countless school lunches and working man's meals. Bologna with mustard on white bread became so iconic that it defined the American lunchbox. But over time, bologna's reputation as overly processed and unhealthy pushed it aside. Health-conscious parents swapped it out for turkey, ham, or chicken, leaving bologna sandwiches as a relic of the past. And if bologna was the lunch of the masses, our number one lunch was the crown jewel of American diners and family kitchens: ham and cheese sandwich. For much of the 20th century, the ham and cheese sandwich was the undisputed king of lunches. From school cafeterias to office break rooms, it was everywhere. Ham was affordable, cheese added richness, and together they created a lunch that was both satisfying and reliable. But as deli meats became criticized for preservatives, and as diverse global foods entered American diets, the ham and cheese lost its throne. Today, it survives as a classic, but no longer dominates the lunch scene like it once did. From Spam sandwiches to ham and cheese, these lunches tell the story of how America once ate, Simple, hearty, and practical. They fueled factory workers, school children, and families through decades of change. But as time passed, tastes shifted, and these once famous lunches quietly disappeared from daily life. They may be gone from the family table, but their memory lingers, reminding us of a time when lunch was more than a quick bite. It was tradition.